Welcome to 10th lecture of surface chemistry. In previous lecture we started our new point colloids and now let us further proceed. In previous lecture we discussed about classification based on physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium, and in this lecture we will discuss about classification based on nature of interaction between the dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So depending upon the nature of interaction between the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium, colloidal sols are divided into two categories, namely lyophobic and lyophilic. So philic, that means it feels attraction towards, and phobic, that means it feels repulsion from. So in case of lyophilic, solvent attracting, that means medium and phase both will attract each other. In case of phobic, medium and phase will repel each other. That means they are not likely to mix with each other. If water is a dispersion medium, then term hydrophilic and hydrophobics will be used. So first is a lyophilic, that means solvent attracting. The word lyophilic means liquid loving. Colloidal sol directly formed by the mixing substance like gum, gelatin, starch, rubber, etc. with a suitable liquid, that means medium, are called lyophilic sol. That means all you have to do is just mix two different compounds with each other and you will get your colloidal solution. Okay, no need to do any kind of processes on them because they feel attracted towards each other. That means they will be mixed or miscible with each other. An important characteristic of this sol is that if the dispersion medium is separated from the dispersed phase, say by evaporating, that means just like salt, as we obtain salt from the seawater is through the evaporation of water, and solute and solvents are separated. But if you want to obtain same type of solution again, then all you have to do is just add water into the salt and you will get your salty water again. So same thing will be observed here. In case of lyophilic, if solvent and solute, that means phase or medium, are separated from each other, then all you have to do is just add it again together and you will get your colloidal solution back. So the sol can be reconstituted by simple remixing with the dispersion medium. That is why these sols are called reversible sols. And furthermore, these sols are quite stable and cannot be easily coagulated as discussed later. Now coagulated, that means in laboratory, in the practical of organics and inorganic compounds, we get precipitates by mixing some chemicals with each other. So these precipitates are obtained due to the coagulation process. That means small sized particles will combine with each other and eventually they will create a larger sized particle which is feels comparatively higher gravitational pull and it will settle down just like suspension as we discussed earlier. Next is a lyophobic sol. So as the name suggests, they will repel each other. So the word lyophilic means liquid hating. Substance like metals, their sulfides, etc. when simply mixed with the dispersion medium do not form colloidal sol. That means they will remain insoluble. Their colloidal sol can be prepared only by specific method and we will discuss it later. Such sols are called lyophobic sols. These sols are readily precipitated or coagulated on the addition of small amount of electrolyte by heating or by shaking and hence they are not stable. Further, when precipitated, they do not give back the colloidal sol by simple addition of the dispersed medium. Hence, these sols are also called irreversible sol, and lyophobic sols needs stabilizing agent for their prevention. Otherwise, when we keep it them for a longer period, they will coagulate themselves. Now our next type is classification based on type of particles of the dispersed phase. Depending upon the type of particles of the dispersed phase, that means solutes, colloids are classified as multimolecular, macromolecular and associated colloids. So first one is multimolecular. On dissolution, a large number of atoms or smaller molecules of substance aggregate together to form a species having size in the colloidal range between 1 to 1000 nanometer. The species thus formed are called multimolecular colloids. For example, a gold sol may contain particles of the various size having many atoms. Sulfur sol consists of particles containing the thousands or more of acid sulfur molecule. That means we are using small tiny particles, and these particles will combine with each other to create a larger sized particle which lays in colloidal range. The next is macromolecular colloids. The macromolecules, you will learn about it in unit 15. That means they are large sized molecule, as for example polymers or protein molecules. In suitable solvent form solution in which the size of macromolecules may be in the colloidal range. Such systems are called macromolecular colloids. These colloids are quite stable and resembles true solution in many aspects because they are not a bunch of different small tiny particles. In fact, they are separate particles just like solvent and solutes. So they are quite stable as well. Starch, cellulose, proteins, enzymes are natural occurring macromolecules, and those of man-made macromolecules are polythene, nylon, polyester, synthetic rubber, etc. We already learned about this in polymer unit. Last one is associated colloids. These are some substance which at low concentration behaves as normal strong electrolyte but at higher concentration exhibits colloidal behavior due to the formation of aggregates. That means combination of smaller sized particles. They will combine with each other to create larger sized particle, just like our first example, multimolecular colloidal particles. The aggregate particles of thus formed are called micelles. These are also known as associated colloids. The formation of micelle takes place only above a particular temperature called Kraft temperature and above the particular concentration called critical micelle concentration CMC. On the dilution, this colloid revert back in individual ion. That means we can regain the original starting point or starting solution. The surface active agents such as soaps and synthetic detergent belongs to this class. For soaps, the CMC is 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 3 mol per liter. These colloids have both lyophobic and lyophilic parts, and micelles may contain as many as 100 molecules or even more. So the main difference between associated and multimolecular colloids is multimolecular colloids are made up of simple molecules, whereas associated colloids or micelles are made up of ions having two different type of parts, lyophilic and lyophobic. Now let us talk about micelle formation. Let us take an example of soap solution. The soap is sodium or potassium salt of a higher fatty acid and may be represented as RCOONA, where R represents a large hydrocarbon group. So sodium stearate example Ca3CH2 16 times COO minus Na plus, which is a major component of many bar soaps. When dissolved in water, it dissociates into RCOO minus and Na plus. The RCOO minus ions, however, consist of two parts, long hydrocarbon chain R, and it is also a non-polar tail. It is also called a non-polar tail. When it is hydrophobic because as we know, simple CH4 molecule, they are completely non-polar, and non-polar do not attract polar molecules, which is water molecule. That's why they are hydrophobic, that means water repelling. And a polar group COO minus, also called polar ionic head, which is hydrophilic because it is polar. That's why it will feel attraction towards the polar molecules like water. So RCOO minus ions are therefore present on the surface with their COO groups in the water, and the hydrocarbon chains are staying away from it. So remember, we have two different parts, head which feels attraction towards the water and tail which feels repulsion from the water. So when we add these type of ions inside the water, some of the part of the ion will feel attracted towards the water and some of the parts will feel repulsion. So that's why they will be present in this manner. That means head feels attraction towards the water, that means it will be in contact with water molecules. On the other hand, tail, it is hydrophobic. That means it will feel repulsion from the water molecules and it will try to be away from the water molecule like this. Okay, so this is our initial situation at lower concentration. So what will happen during the higher concentration situations? So let us assume when we add more ions like this inside the water molecules, eventually our surface will be completely occupied. That means with each addition of this type of molecule, more and more surface will be occupied like this. And eventually we reach at a point where fully surface is covered. Now what happen if you add more? Then it has to be enter inside the bulk because surface is already 100% covered. And when this type of molecules enters inside the bulk, that means suppose this is our surface, and now if you want to add molecules or ion, these type of ions inside the bulk of water, then what will happen? Remember, we have two different parts in these type of ions, as for example stearate ion, hydrophobic tail and hydrophilic head. That means water attracting head and water repelling tail. So these hydrophobic tails will feel repulsion from the water molecule, and that's why they will try to move away from the water. But no surface area or surface is available to stay there. That's why they have to enter inside the water, yet they have to move away from the water at the same time. So what is the solution? They will form a micelle. That means a bulk of these type of multiple ions which is covered by the heads, and inside this ball or spherical shape we have hydrophobic tails. Okay, so inside this we have hydrophobic tails, and on the surface we have hydrophilic heads. Assume it like this. Suppose you have a rubber ball and some sharp pins. Okay, like this. Assume head of a pin is lyophilic. That means it will feel attraction towards the water molecule, and tail is phobic. It will feel repulsion. So how micelle formation is made? So just have to insert these pins inside the rubber ball. So full surface of this ball should be covered with the head of pins like this, and all of the sharp points of these pins are present inside the ball. That means we can only see multiple heads of the pins on the surface of ball, and it is three-dimensional shape. Okay, we are just representing it like two-dimensional, but assume it as a three-dimensional shape. Okay, so full ball surface is covered with the head of these pins, and all of them or all of the sharp points are present inside the ball. So this is a micelle formation. Heads are in contact with surroundings and tails are away from the surrounding because they feel repulsion from the water molecule. That's how micelles are formed. Okay, so these are the representation of micelle molecules or stearate ions and molecules, sodium stearate molecule, which is a part of our daily soaps. In next lecture we will discuss about the other features of this type of micelles, and then we will proceed further.